Ramon and Will on 104.5. The Zone is fueled by Scooter's Coffee on this Thursday morning. And when you hear the Sopranos music, it is time to talk to the voice of the Vols, Mike Keith, who, by the way, on the Mike Keith Show today has Ramon Foster, amongst other A-list guests. Mike, it feels like you're starting a home and home today with you coming on this show and Ramon going on your show later today.
Pretty fair point.
Yeah.
I think that's right. The best part, though, is we have a video of Ramon's reaction to some of the things that happened in Saturday's Arkansas game, in particular, some of the calls. And if you watch for no other reason between 2 and 4 Central Time on the Tennessee Athletics YouTube channel, you should watch for that.
Oh, outstanding.
We think there are other good things, but it's pretty outstanding.
Sounds like there are some GIFable reactions for Ashley Farrell and the entire crew over there.
I think they're certainly GIFable, yes.
Fantastic.
Mike, I didn't realize what the GoPros were actually capable of, okay? Ashley has to be stopped, okay? I love her, but she's got to be stopped, okay? Oh, my God.
I know when I do things in the booth, I know they're going to show up because Ashley Farrell, I mean, speaking of the Sopranos, she's a lot meaner than Tony Soprano ever thought about being.
Yeah, she is.
It's happening.
Fantastic.
Mike, I have to ask you, too, how would you grade from this past weekend, man, the Vols flyover that happened in the stadium?
It's one of the most emotional flyovers I've ever been a part of. It was heartwarming. That was pretty fantastic. Did not see that coming, and I have watched it many times over to get the full effect. But certainly, thank you for bailing out the government and making that happen, Ramon.
On top of paying taxes, I got flyovers taken care of.
There you go. You paid taxes. You paid for it, and you made it happen for us. So thank you.
For those unfamiliar, at Ramon Foster, go check out his TikTok account. You'll see Ramon's right hand is the flyover in Neyland Stadium on Saturday. Mike, just for you personally, and being someone that has been a part of Vol Network broadcasts and being a Tennessee fan, you've had a lot of awesome firsts this season. This is another big first, right? And getting to call a third Saturday in October for the first time. What's the excitement level? What's the nerve level, I guess, to go into Tuscaloosa and broadcast one of the most iconic rivalries in college football this weekend?
I think Saturday's going to be a long day, Will, waiting for it to happen. You know, right now, all the preparation and the different things that we have and getting ready for the show this afternoon. And, so you're staying busy. But when you get to Saturday and you think about all the history and the tradition and just what a special opportunity this is and how fortunate I am, been incredibly fortunate throughout the entire time that I've been in broadcasting and have always felt that way. And this is just another moment that I'm very thankful to have. And quite frankly, it's one of the reasons that I wanted this opportunity is I wanted to call Tennessee, Alabama on a Saturday night on the third Saturday in October under the lights with the whole country watching and hopefully listening. It's very special because I know what it means to so many people.
Voice of the Vols, Mike Keith, joins us here this morning, presented by Two Rivers Ford and Volunteer Traditions. Mike, where is this game won or lost for Tennessee? What is the important matchup and thing Tennessee's got to do to pull out a win?
I think Tennessee's got to throw the ball effectively. That's the big thing is Alabama has an excellent pass defense, but Alabama hasn't seen a pass offense like this. So both sides are kind of wondering what this is going to look like. If Tennessee throws the ball as effectively as they have been, that's going to be an important lift for Tennessee because they're going to put Alabama in a position that they haven't been. The other part of it, too, is I'm of the opinion that this is the best offensive line that Tennessee's defense has faced, which makes their challenge in the run game even bigger. And, we don't know if Jim Miller's going to play, but Kevin Riley's a good back and Daniel Hill's a good back. I mean, Alabama has other backs. Tennessee's had a hard time stopping the run in conference games. We know that. And understanding that this offensive line is really, really good, that just adds to the overall challenge. So I think it comes down to those two things just on paper. the game will certainly unfold in a different way. And, it has a habit of everything we talk about during the course of the week. It ends up being something different. But for me, in studying the matchup, those are the two areas I'm most intrigued by.
No doubt about it. We're joined by the voice of the Vols and an elite dapper, Mike Keith, this morning, because you got a lot of comments on how you dapped me up before the game, too.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It was elite. At some point, Mike, and specifically this year going down to Alabama, this series in like the last 4 or 5 years has been home and home wins. Vols got an opportunity, man, as you mentioned, with this offense being as good as it is, and it kind of pressurizes the other team to somewhat, I feel like, get a dub in Tuscaloosa. Joe Milton a couple of years ago had this team 21-7 going into the halftime. We saw a team in Vanderbilt have Alabama on his heels until his defense was very opportunistic and got turnovers on Diego Pavia. This isn't an impossible task, Mike, of going to Tuscaloosa and getting a win. And I don't say that as a fan. I say that as a football player that's seen these type of moments. At some point, this home and home streak has to end. Do you view that this way in what this Alabama team has presented?
Why not this week, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, Alabama's great in Tuscaloosa. 100,077 fans going to be on hand at Bryant-Denny Stadium. You understand the challenge because they're a very good team in a hostile environment with a fantastic fan base and student body. And, I mean, you've got all that stuff against you. But I think the exciting thing for Tennessee right now is they are a program at this moment in 2025 that can beat anybody they play. We couldn't have said that 5 years ago. And that to me is the part of it that's exciting because you have an opportunity if you go take care of your business anywhere that you play. And, that's not demeaning any opponent. That's not taking anything away from Alabama. That's just saying this is where Tennessee is at this moment. Tennessee is good enough. And if they take care of their business, they're good enough to win against anybody anywhere in the country. Now, Alabama plays clean. That's what's most impressive about Kalen DeBoer's team. They play clean, +9 in turnover ratio, 6 penalties for 43 yards per game. They take care of their business when they get inside the 20. They're very good on third down. They're really good on fourth down. Even fourth and long, they're good. So the bottom line of all of it, if you're Tennessee, is you've got to go win the football game. Alabama's not going to lose it. You have to go win it. You're capable of doing that, however, and that gives you an opportunity. The question is, can you do it? Are you ready to take this next step?
Absolutely. Mike, it's two players that are going to have a whole lot of eyes on them, especially from an NFL scout's perspective. One's not draft eligible yet, but that's Ryan Williams, who didn't have a good game last week, and also Chris Brazzell, who's 1 catch for 5 yards. You mentioned the passing game. Ty Simpson's a Tennessee native, and he can sling it, Coach. I mean, I was about to call you Coach Mike there.
That's okay. I'll take it.
But he can sling it, Mike. But those two guys, I wonder how and when, do you force feed Brazzell to make him satisfied? And does Alabama do the same and they slip up? How do you view these two wide receiver ones going into it?
Well, what Alabama does, too, is that, they'll run Ryan Williams. That's something they've done in their history. He's been battling a hamstring, and you wonder how much that's affected him. I've got to think he's getting the ball on one of the first 2 plays.
Yeah.
I got to believe, some way, somehow, I have to believe they're getting the ball to Ryan Williams. Brazzell's a little different because he's the long, tall guy. I would think they'll want to get him involved pretty early to get those juices going again. And to see that happen, Tennessee doesn't do that as much. That's not really their style, but it wouldn't surprise me in the least if they feed him pretty early, too.
Voice of the Vols, Mike Keith, joining us this morning on Ramon and Will, presented by Volunteer Traditions and Two Rivers Ford. Mike, Taylon Green was such a unique challenge last week, and some of the zero blitzes and things Tennessee did well, his individual ability to just get out of a bad situation are kind of unique to Taylon Green, right? But where do you think that balance is for Tim Banks this week in controlling what Tennessee can control and some things that needed to be cleaned up from the Arkansas game defensively, while also admitting at the same time that while Arkansas doesn't have a great record this season on paper, that is a dang good offense that played inspired football with a quarterback that probably erased a lot of the good that Tennessee was still doing defensively because he's just an athletic specimen.
That's right. I mean, a different player. You know, Ty Simpson's a completely different quarterback. Alabama runs a very different offense. Ty Simpson can certainly read things. He's got probably more things available to him to check to than what Arkansas was doing, because Arkansas is going to, I mean, hey, that's good coaching. You're going to take advantage of an athlete like that. You know, you're going to do something different. Ty Simpson's a really good athlete. He's not that big, and he's not that fast, and he's not that kind of player, but Ty Simpson can make more throws from the pocket. And that's a different thing than Tennessee's probably seen, I mean, maybe all year. They've seen some decent quarterbacks, but they haven't seen a guy who can throw from the pocket like Ty Simpson can. Ty's a really good player. He's having a super year for Alabama. They're using him well. They have figured out in Ryan Grubb's system how to get him untracked. I mean, here's the interesting thing about him. He is 23 of 31 passing in each of his last two games. He's, I mean, how consistent is that? He's completing 71% of his passes on the year. So they're giving him some throws that sort of let him get in the routine. But, hey, he makes some tough throws, too. I mean, the touchdown pass, I guess, was the first one at Missouri. That's quite a throw. Not everybody in college football can fit it in that window. So there's some different things that Taylon Green provided, yes, but I also think there's some ways Ty Simpson can take advantage of you if you're out of position. This is a distinctly different challenge for this defense and for Tim Banks about being as cerebral as possible and hopefully putting Ty Simpson in a position where he's not comfortable, which other teams have shown us it's not easy to do.
Mike, it's so interesting with last year's game against Alabama, how many open receivers Josh Heupel schemed up and maybe some layups that Tennessee didn't hit. And this could have been a 2 or 3 touchdown win if they hit some of those open receivers. And especially from the slot position, it feels like a big moment for Braylon Staley. Coming off that performance last week, and just a guy that, Mike, has been so consistent and so impressive as such a young player. What have you learned just spending time around him about him as a player, and how big of an opportunity do you see this for him again against a defense that has struggled, albeit under some different head coaches and coordinators, to stop that slot receiver for Tennessee that seems to get open against Alabama defensively?
Well, and Will, it's when is the slot not really open if a guy's doing a good job in there? Mm-hmm. That's almost like the tight end. It's like the tight end is almost always open when you have a tight end that is playing his position well. Braylon Staley's an upgrade at the slot position. He's bigger, he's faster, he's powerful after the catch. You're able to line him up so many different places. We wondered if Braylon Staley could come through, if that would be a huge upgrade in this offense in 2025. And to this point, it has been. So I think you're right. I mean, I think in this game, it's very important, but I really believe that's going to be every game the rest of the way, the 5 conference games and New Mexico State, because how do you scheme that up defensively? And I've heard coaches talk about this, and it's very difficult to do in that spot. You've got to find guys that can win defensively to really stop a slot. And when it comes down to it, you've got to find a slot who can win. Braylon Staley can win and has been winning, and he's got to continue that for Tennessee to be as effective as possible. I think Joey Aguilar's been an upgrade, especially being able to throw the deep ball. The outside receivers getting deeper have been a big deal. But I think Braylon Staley and what he's added on the inside and his versatility has been huge.
Mike, when you view the pathway of this team, I'm of the mindset when Coach Heupel's offense is cooking the way it is, especially on first and second down. The third downs hadn't been the greatest this year as far as the percentage made for them. But first and second down, which means they're scoring quicker, they're having big chunk plays often. I think it makes it hard for defenses to be really, really good because they're out there and they're out there fast. With that being said, how opportunistic has this defense been this year with the plays that they've made? It may not be stopping the run the way teams want it to happen, but the sacks and the turnovers and the interceptions, it has come at a higher rate than I think anybody would have imagined.
I mean, I think you can use the word great when you talk about that aspect. They've scored 4 times. They have 11 takeaways. They have 26 sacks. I mean, that's fantastic. It's been the other part that has disappointed you because, especially in conference games, they've given up plays, passes down the middle. They've certainly given up the run, and that's been incredibly difficult. And it's hard to wrap your head around how the defense can be so fantastic in one area and so underwater in the other area. And if they could just find the middle, if they can keep up the big playability and just find the middle. Listen, you can give up some yards. Just don't give up chunk plays. Just be better on third down and keep hitting the quarterback and keep taking the ball away. That's an area where Tennessee has a chance to improve dramatically in the second half of the season if they can just do those things up to maybe an average level. They don't have to be as fantastical in that area as they do on the big plays because so far they've been, just not very good in that way, and it truly has been with them feast or famine.
And even in the moments where you had to have it, I mean, at Mississippi State, they shut down a run at a time that was most crucial for them. I hate to use the term bend but don't break because it's hard living that way when you're in between 20 to 20, but that's kind of what they've presented themselves to be. And I think the threat of the edge guys and the blitzes that Tim Banks sends, and when he got us in the run blitz, other than Georgia, he's hit home, Mike. That's living like rock stars is what it is at this point.
Well, it's funny because last year they had the most unusual thing in college football. They had a defense who could stone people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, and you don't see that in college football anymore. They stoned people. They kept them from running it. They kept them from gaining yards. They gave up 16 points per game. All of those things were a part of what they did, and yet they only had 29 sacks. I mean, they were not a spectacular defense. They didn't score. This year, they're the opposite of that, and it's kind of driving you crazy, and yet they have the same record at this point than they did a year ago. Yeah. Now, so, again, if you just move that line forward to where you're playing better in those situations, particularly in the first half, I mean, it could be crucial for this team starting on Saturday.
He is the voice of the Vols, Mike Keith, and he joins us during the season at 8:20 on Thursday mornings. Tennessee and Alabama, the third Saturday in October, with coverage from the Vol Network at 4 p.m. here on the station on Saturday. Mike, we're excited to listen, excited to watch this one, and appreciate the time. Thanks so much.
And
thanks for having me, guys.
Mike, I will not be funding Alabama's Flyover, just so you know.
Oh, well, it's understandable, but watch the Mike Keith show this afternoon for the Ramon Foster video. Tennessee Athletics YouTube channel. Subscribe, please.
Fantastic.
It helps my family. Thank you.
We will be there. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. It helps my family. That's great.
Why is he joking?
We should start saying that when we ask people to subscribe to the 104.5 The Zone YouTube channel. Play Sarah McLachlan music. If you want to help Ramon Foster's family, Will Bowling's family,
he's got a
Justin Hawkins' family, operators are standing by. All it takes is one click.
That's too real.
To subscribe.
That's too real.
Coming up next, we'll wrap up Hour 3.